Hey yo, welcome to the wonderful world of Hungry Heath. It is Saturday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, the day of New Year's Eve anyways. The eve would be tonight, technically, right? And we're out running errands again. As you can see, we're in the car. And I apologize for last week. We got a little sideways with Christmas and everything going on. We had a little technical difficulties at the house with the weather and all. So this is going to be a twofer. And to be completely honest with y'all, I don't even remember what week it is, but it'll show in the title. Yes. And we're going to go over a bunch of stuff here. And we just finished up with our plumber because we had another plumbing leak. Y'all remember, was it last year or the year before?
It was 21. I mean, so last year, but it was February 21, so it's almost been 2 years ago.
Yeah. We had another plumbing leak almost in the same exact location that it froze last time. And so we had a plumber come out that he just left, and he patched up and fixed everything for us, and he said we're probably going to need new repairs, some more repairs in the future. He gave us some hints and tips on what we need to do. We just got to get some money together to do it.
Yeah, a lot of money. But, I mean, at least that, I felt like he was being honest, and I felt like he was, you know, just being straightforward, because he basically said, hey, look, if it was Houston weather, you know, where it's hot all the time, you would never have issues. The issues is anytime it gets below freezing here, you potentially can have more issues. But if you do this other stuff, then you basically would have no worries. So next time if it froze, or if it gets, even if the pipes freeze, you would never have any issues to worry about. You'd be fine, which is kind of cool that the plumbing has come that way.
Right. And what I think was really neat about it, he came very highly recommended from a friend of a friend. And I felt a kinship to him because, like I've told y'all before, I'm a third generation cabinet man. And he is teaching his son to be a plumber. And the company he works for is a highly reputable company. Mm-hmm. And then the company that his son works for is the one that the neighbor told us about the last time we had plumbing issues. Right. So they are a good company also. Yeah. So I feel good about that as well.
Right. And I'm always for people, you know, any job, let's just say it that way. Like, you know, he's a carpenter and stuff. And I always feel like, you know, if you have a certain trade that you do, but you work for some conglomerate, but you know that, hey, yeah, if I come under this conglomerate because it's a corporation, I'm going to have to charge you, you know, triple the price because, you know, we got to pay all the CEO's salary. But, hey, I have my days off on Saturday and Sunday, so if you don't mind me waiting until then, which we were like, sure, he's like, then I come over and just do it on the down low. And
we call it moonlighting.
Moonlighting, thank you. And I'm okay with that. I think, that's a great way for any of us to kind of get extra money and kind of help each other, right? Right. Because he did offer to come out on Christmas Eve for us and fix it, but then that comes Christmas Eve pricing. Right. And he was like, but look, if you want me to do it moonlighting, I could save you a lot of money, but you would have to wait a week. And I'm like, look, we have running cold water, so that's livable. I mean, is that optimal? No, but it's livable. So I felt very fortunate. And again, shout out to, you know who you are, for the recommendation and everything.
And for doing the research for us on where the actual issue was. Yes. Thank you so much.
You're just amazing. Well, we could say it. Renee was the one. She got a workout, because I just feel like, you know, Renee's very athletic, but sometimes athletes just don't challenge themselves enough.
So I challenged her.
Right. And they, you know, I feel like every once in a while they need to have an obstacle course so they know where they need to, like, really condition themselves. So I was like, Renee, you need to come over. I didn't say she needed. I asked if she would.
Pretty please.
Right. And so she came over, and of course, you know, Renee, being athletic and being so freaking flexible, she came over and she was able to get up there and, you know, do her obstacle course in our attic. and figure out what was going on, which, again, amazing. Thank you so much, Renee. And see, it helped you learn, oh gosh, I need to really strengthen my quads and this and that, whatever else was sore. And so see, friends helping friends here.
I only feel bad about it too because she had to do it twice because she didn't take a phone with her the first time.
I know, but we did try. We were like, take a phone. But anyhow,
and it was handy though because then I was able to take the pictures that she took for us and send it to the plumber, and then he was able to ascertain what he needed to do, but he still had to climb up there as well.
Yeah.
And
but
then,
I think it helped him see ahead of time. Okay, this is what I'm coming into. Yeah.
And he did have to cut a part of our ceiling out to get access to it because it was where it was at. He had to gain access.
But luckily, I'm married to somebody who knows how to do that stuff.
Yes.
So we're on our way now to get to Home Depot. Boy, that sounded weird to get to.
Yeah.
Wow. But
we're en route to.
We're en route. And so he'll know how to patch and float.
Yeah.
But again, thank you everybody for all of your support and for all of your well wishes, your prayers, your good vibes, all of that. It really helped us out. I'm just very fortunate. And you know, I know some of our people in the Hungry Horde had it so much worse. So my heart goes out to you.
Because I mean, technically, what we're going through right now is just basically first world problems.
Yeah,
really, it is.
What we're going through, I mean, yeah, we need to upgrade stuff so that we don't have the worries in the future, because it seems like about every year, every other year, because last year, or I say last year, but you know, like at the beginning, generally we get cold in January and February, but in January and February this year, we lucked out, right? It didn't get that cold. So it seems to happen about every other year, so we've got to come up with money so that we're not like stressing out and thinking, okay, what's gonna break now, kind of thing.
And then y'all heard us last night on our live talking about how we were planning on another cruise. Obviously that's gonna go on the back burner now.
Yes. It was fun to look at.
Yeah, but at least we know what we need to plan ahead for.
Right. Of course, in case you won the lottery last night.
I'll check the scorecard.
Oh, you haven't checked yet?
No, I've been busy.
Oh my gosh, we might already be millionaires, you guys.
Yeah, we instead of going to Home Depot, we could be driving to Austin to collect.
Well, you know, there's an office in Houston. I've already looked it up.
Oh.
But
I still like going to Austin though.
Right? But that would be
that would help a lot.
Yes, that would help immensely. And then we won't have to worry about any of this.
Like, hey, bro, come over here tomorrow.
Right. But anyhow, so yes, so the plumbing, at least I feel better now. We've got hot water again. I'm so relieved about that.
So we're running the dishwasher right now, and then as soon as we get home, we're gonna run the load of towels, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll do another load of our clothes.
Yes, and then
somebody's gonna jump in the shower.
Yes, definitely. I can't wait for that. Oh, I can't wait to wash my hair.
Right.
It probably just, I mean, again, the ends look fine. Like, you can't tell that looks greasy or anything.
If you wouldn't have told me, I would have known.
But it's just up
now you're
here.
telling on yourself.
I know. But it's up here that I feel like, not itchy, but, you know, it just feels heavy.
It's time.
I don't know if anybody else that has long hair, like how I know when my hair needs to be washed, like a nice deep wash, is because it starts to feel heavy on my head. Like it feels like I've got like a blanket on my head, like it's just pulling down. When I first wash it for the first few days, it feels so light and air free. And so now it's got that, like, it feels heavy.
And then speaking of hair, that's the other thing we gotta do today too. She's gotta shave all this so I quit looking like a hippie.
And you need to shave your face.
I'm gonna do that too.
Oh my gosh.
Do it all today. It's all gone.
You know what I'd like in the new year? Maybe if we shave your face today and your hair today, maybe you'll keep that up in the new year. So you're not so scruffy.
Probably. Well, it'll come under advisement.
So last couple weeks, let's kind of circle back
right?
instead of just whining about all our problems, because again, our problems really are very, very minor. My burn is coming along. If you haven't watched the Warden Report, I kind of went over what happened with the burn. So what about you with your illness? Are you still doing the DDPY?
Oh, every day it's scheduled, yes.
Okay, good.
There's a couple of times where he does give me a day off, and I enjoy that immensely.
Right. Well, that's really good.
Especially when he has those hour-long workouts.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly. That's fun.
But that's good for you.
Oh, yeah. My pain is your gain, obviously.
Well, yeah. I like a flexible husband.
Easy.
And then what about your medicine? You've been taking that as
Yes.
normal?
Yeah. Only thing we noticed this morning is for whatever reason, y'all know I take those 2 magnesium pills every day.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow yesterday I missed one of them. It's still in my pill bottle. It was 1 pill sitting in there. But I feel fine, so I'll just add it in when I refilled the whole thing.
Oh, gosh. Well, we talked before about doing the 10 advisements of how to help your MS.
Yes, but that'll go on next week's because I have a whole list on my computer. Obviously, it's not with me right now.
Oh, okay. Well, so be looking forward to that. We're going to do a week from today, we're going to do the 10 tips to help with your multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
We're just trying different things that we've heard of. It's like I've been researching all the YouTube algorithm stuff. So they have some suggestions. We're going to try some of this. So you might see a little different format on some things. So, just let us know. You're part of the Hungry Horde. So do you like, our new formats that we might be doing and so forth? Let us know. Comment below whether you like it or not. And then let's see, what else with the MS? What was so this is covering about the week before Christmas and all the way up to New Year's Eve. Right. So how was Christmas for you?
It was fun because I worked. Just like I can't fully celebrate New Year's Eve tonight because I have to work tomorrow. I mean, I can stay up and basically watch the ball drop, and as soon as it does, I gotta go to bed.
If anybody was on the live last night, vote now if you think Heath is going to stay up until midnight, because I don't see that happening.
I don't either, honestly. I mean, whether I see the ball drop or not, we're still going to be 23 tomorrow.
That's right. Well, and speaking of Christmas Day, so you had to work, and yes. I know when you worked Thanksgiving, it was really slow.
It really was, but it was not slow at all on Christmas Day. And several people were astonished by it, because we have a little side chat going with all of our little team, and even our boss told us, he goes, "Hey, calm down. It's job security. 2, it's because of all the weather's been going on. Everybody has been affected with it. It's been cold everywhere, and anytime we have any kind of extreme heat with our company, it's gonna affect our system."
Or extreme cold.
Yeah. Oh no, extreme cold or heat. Any extreme weather is gonna affect our system.
Yeah. So, luckily, that helped your day go by really fast.
It did, really. But it was just basically back-to-back calls all day, which does help, really.
Yeah, it does help it really go by really fast. We're in the Home Depot parking lot.
And then usually, my last break for the day is around 3:30, but that last call, it dragged on until I didn't get my break until 4. That was awesome, though. Yeah. Because when I came back, I only had 45 minutes before I got to go home.
I know.
That was cool.
Nice. And how is work going otherwise?
Fabulous. I'm loving it.
And that's awesome.
I mean, every once in a while, I'll get a little moody about it and kind of hating it, I'll walk in, flip off the computer and everything, but I got to remind myself, I've done a lot worse for a lot less.
You flip off the computer.
That's how we start off the morning, with our morning, good morning,
So, when we win the lottery...
Well, you'll see me with my new friends.
Oh, really? Our new wife, too?
No, hell no.
Okay.
You're with me forever. You're stuck with me now.
Ooh, lucky me. Well, let me ask you this, though. How much would you have to win in order to no longer work your job?
I don't know. I got to ask the boss.
Exactly. Now, what?
Especially this job, it's going to take a lot because there's.
Well, okay. And here's the other thing: is thinking about it. Tell me y'all's opinion when it comes to winning the lottery. Right? Is there a certain amount? Like, is there a target figure where you're like, okay, if I win this much, because you got to remember, you got to pay taxes on it. If I win this much, and I know my take home would be this, then I can retire. Then I can permanently retire. Because you have to think, if you're no longer working, like we both have our insurance through our jobs. And especially with Heath and his multiple sclerosis and everything, luckily that covers everything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you no longer work, then that means that all has to be out of pocket.
Yeah, take it all on the chin.
Right. So you would either have to have enough to cover if something happened and you ended up in the hospital,
That's
to cover your medicine that you take, that you're required to have, all those things you have to think about. And so go, okay, do I continue to work so just because I'll have insurance, or do you price it out and say, okay, look, I go with this insurance plan and it'll cost me X amount a month, but I'll be able to afford it because I had X amount that I won, right?
It's a double-edged sword for me, though, because honestly, I've always thought work is a 4-letter word. And it's just for people who don't have hobbies.
I guess I don't have a hobby.
But I honestly feel like my job is very, very cush.
Yeah.
It's very simple for the most part. It really is, and they really work with me when I have to take off in emergencies for my medical, to make appointments, or like that one time whenever I had a little mix-up with getting my pills on time. They were okay with me taking off for it, the half a day or whatever, and they did not give me any problems with that. And anytime I need to take off to travel to do our little things, there's no problem with that. They almost instantly approve it. So why not?
Right. So then that's a good thing. And that's the other thing to think about too.
I've got a bunch of good perks.
Right. And like, I really love my job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never flip off my job because I love working it.
You're not tired of the phones.
And that's true. But I really enjoy it. And so I could see me just continue to work there because, I mean, why not?
Mm-hmm.
But, and then plus, I would have access to savings options where I can open CDs and HISAs and get even better rates because I'm an employee.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a discount. It's an employee.
Company rates. Yeah, employee rates.
So, I mean, that would be really cool too,
And that's what we found out too with my new account. Remember, we could go to the grocery, HEB, and use the ATM there, and there's no fees.
Oh, with your new bank?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was able to use the ATM while I went shopping yesterday. So
yeah, so we could pay the plumber today.
Right.
Because he was moonlighting.
Yeah.
But yes. So let me know what would be your winning amount where you'd be like, okay, I know.
It's your holy grail amount.
Right. I know I would be comfortable for the rest of my life.
A bajillion?
A bajillion,
yeah.
Probably. Right.
Because it seems like we always have things just happening.
Yeah.
Bills coming up.
Right, because you never know what's going to pop up.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, shoot, now I got to come up with, like this. Now I had to come up with the money for the plumber that I was not planning on.
Right.
Things like that always pop up, and you're like, and then, like, we were all getting excited because I was doing my budget for 23, and I was like, oh, I think if we,
do this, and this.
Put, this aside every month, that we can go on a nice cruise in 24, and then now it's like, no, now we got to put it aside to play for upgraded plumbing.
For doing the house.
Yeah, right.
Then we need to look at we get to enjoy water at home instead of on the cruise.
Right. One week of being waited on, or a whole year of no worries about plumbing.
Right.
So there's that. And then let's see, what else with anything else going on with multiple sclerosis?
Nothing. Everything's on plan.
Yeah.
As long as I'm taking my pills and doing my exercises.
Yes. then...
And eating right.
And eating right, exactly. And I have noticed, if you're following my Warden report, I can't have anything that is in the cabbage family. It's like bacilla, something, whatever. But cruciferous vegetables, I know my body, digestive-wise, no issues, but my body does not react well to it. So that means no cauliflower, no Brussels sprouts, no cabbage, no broccoli, no kale. Not that I was doing kale.
Kale, no.
So none of those, and I think there's a couple others, but I'm like, oh, I never eat that anyways. So none of those. I'm just going to basically do without those, which is kind of sad because, here's what we've noticed doing keto, right? We're coming up on 4 years keto.
February.
Yes, and people ask all the time, how do I start keto, or what should I do on
you
keto?
Just do it.
Or I guess I need to do beat me and E because everybody else is doing it. Here's what I've learned in 4 years. When we first started keto, of course we had great results because we were going from the standard American diet to keto. I mean, if most everybody's going to have good results to begin with, because no matter what, you are cutting out all those inflammatory oils, you're cutting out all of the sugars and stuff, so of course you're going to have good results. But then as your body's like, okay, this is our new way of eating, then you start noticing other things. So we started noticing almonds, and specifically almond flour is not good for us, especially heat. And again, that's what you learn as
Thanks,
you kind of...
MS.
Huh?
I said, thanks, MS.
Right. But and other people who don't have MS also have issues with almond flour. Because
that's true.
Here's my thoughts. Right? Shelly, time for rant. When we go keto, right? Most of us before keto, we lived a very unhealthy lifestyle. Like, I know Heath and I, we did not diet constantly.
Oh, no.
No, like we never dieted anymore.
Our diet was a diet of awful.
Right? But we ate whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted. We did not exercise. We didn't, it was YOLO, truly YOLO. But then when you start going keto, right, what happens, and this is what my observations, and this is what we did as well, is because you still had that mindset, 40, 30 years, however many years, that mindset of, oh, I gotta have this or this, you kind of change one bad habit for another. Okay, follow me. So instead of just going to, okay, really, this is my opinion, of course, really keto, the best way to do keto is whole food keto. You're eating great meats, any meat variety you want, and you're eating healthy fats, butter, ghee, animal fats, right? And then, avocado oil. There's a couple other fruit oils, as you will, that are acceptable. And then you're eating just fresh vegetables, and that should be it. Really, I'm going to be honest, that is going to be your optimum keto. That's what you're doing. You're not having products.
In season vegetables too.
Right, in season. You're not having products, and I mean all products. I know sometimes we'll be like, oh, but here's these exceptions. I'm saying optimum best keto is whole foods. That's it. No products. Absolutely none. I don't want you to say, oh, but with the exception of this or this. No, absolutely no products. You're living as though you're going to the grocery store and you're only getting stuff that doesn't come in a package. You're not ordering packages offline that say keto. None of that. That would be optimum keto. But what do we do as humans? We like those things, like those bars. We like having a shake. We like having a brick. We like having, so we trade one, honestly, it's one bad habit for another. So before keto, hey, we had candy bars whenever we felt like candy bars. What did we do when we went keto? We found keto bars. Now, some of them are cleaner than others. Like a keto bar, when it was around, was a very clean bar. Some people I know have like perfect keto. I haven't looked at their ingredients. Like I showed one on my Warden report. There are some better option keto bars out there that I would consider like a candy bar, but guess what? A lot of them use almond flour or peanut butter. Well, again, if you do that a lot, because I'm trading one bad habit for another. Oh, I was having keto bar or candy bars before 2 or 3 times a week. Oh, well, now I'll just have a keto bar. Well, guess what? Eating that much almond flour all the time, yeah, it's not going to be good for you. And again, you're kind of getting away from the whole point of it really should be the healthiest way should just be whole foods. But we as humans like to have convenience, and we like to have those pleasure things in our mind go off, which is usually from something that is sugary and salty and a combination of flavor additives that spark that part in our brain. So then we get these keto products, and just I'm finding, so maybe if you were somebody who used to drink ice cream shakes all the time, hey, now you're still having ice cream. But when it comes down to it, it's like, ooh. So that's my point, is just kind of evaluate that. If the majority of what you're eating is an actual product, are you really improving that much? Whereas now, if you mostly eat whole foods and then you have a keto product occasionally, then yeah, nothing wrong with that. Even Dr. Berry says, hey, back in the wild, you might come across a honeycomb and you would end up eating it there, but you weren't doing it every day. So when it kind of wrap it back, that's what we've noticed over 4 years is, when we first went keto, we were eating a lot more whole foods,
yes,
but we were also doing stuff where we were, we can make brownies again. We just got to use almond flour. Oh, we could still do this. So we were still trying to emulate the foods that caused us to get sick.
Yeah.
And guess what? We have learned in our time, almond flour's out. For Heath, peanut butter is definitely out.
That hurts. I love peanut butter.
I know. Because sometimes those things in excess, they're not really good because they're not supposed to be in excess to begin with. And then I have noticed over time, some of these vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, my body's like, no, we don't like it. And that's things you learn along the way to getting healthy. And it's just kind of like, okay, reevaluate, especially with, this is New Year's Eve. I know a lot of people are like, new year, new me. But just kind of take a look at your overall. And I know, like, he never tracks.
No.
But he really doesn't have to, because we're cooking together and I do the tracking, right?
No.
So it kind of helps you. But if you're somebody who maybe isn't tracking, and in your mind you're like, oh, but I just have that keto snack, occasionally. Maybe track for a few days.
And see how actual
track
really is.
For a week or two and just see, really, what are you doing? And maybe some of those things you're not realizing how much it is. Or I think it's good every once in a while, especially if you've been doing keto a while, to just take a week or two and actually track and see what you're doing. And that might be a little eye-opening for you to kind of look at. I've had people come to me and be like, well, I want to do higher fat. And I'm like, okay, well, where are you coming from?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, well, I think I eat pretty good fat. And I'm like, okay, well, show me your meals. And it's like, are you though? Because if you're adding a lot of protein, if you're having protein powders and collagen and adding those different things, where are your ratios? You might be closer to a 1-to-1, whereas that's not high fat, y'all. So I would say start there. Even my coach, when she gets new clients, even if they've been keto, she tells them, look, go ahead and just wherever you're at right now, just start tracking so you see where you're at, and then start the program to then start actually fine-tuning everything.
Speaking of your coach, what is the update on when that's going to happen?
So my coach should be, and I'm sorry she had a gig
gigs, yeah,
on Friday, but this coming Friday, January the 5th,
I think so.
Whatever the first Friday of January is, she's supposed to go live with us. I will definitely post
the 6th.
The 6th. Okay.
Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st, so.
Okay. I'll definitely post it on Instagram, the Hungry Heat, and he'll post it on Facebook. We'll be putting out, to let everybody know. So definitely, even if you have keto questions, it doesn't have to be high fat, because that's the great thing about a really good coach. It's not a one size fits all. And I've seen that with other coaches. They will be like, okay, here's my program. Everybody has to do the same thing. No, the great thing about Samantha is she looks at your individual needs. Now, you'll go through the program to learn the basics. Even if you're been keto for several years, you'll go through her program and you kind of start there, right?
Even if it's a refresher.
Yeah, even if it's a refresher, you start there, and she'll start you out at traditional keto, because when she did keto, it was actually Atkins. Before keto ever was even popular. That's how long she's been doing this, y'all. And she is a certified nutritionist, and so she's been at this for a long time, so she knows things have to be adjustable. And so what she does is you start out traditional keto, so high fat, moderate protein, and low carb, right? That's where she starts you, and she's a total carb person. But again, she's like, but we'll go from there. You might be somebody that enjoys doing net carbs. Like, you pick what's best for you. Like, it's customizable. And then what I've learned, and with her being my coach, we've tried different things. But that's what's great about her, is she's not like, you have to do my program how I say you do it. She's like, okay, let's collect the data, and let's just see how those results go.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can adjust from there. So, at the beginning, I was very much of, I have to have this high protein. I've got to have high protein. I need to be eating 1 gram per weight of protein. And she's like, okay, I get what you're saying. Let's go ahead. Let's start that. Let's just collect data and see how well you do. And then, guess what? Wasn't doing that well. And she's like, okay, well, why don't we adjust back on the protein, which was scary. And I know for some people, if you've been in the keto sphere for any length of time, you'll hear people all the time, you got to get your protein. Oh my God, you better get at least 100 grams of protein. If you're not eating enough protein, you're failing at keto. You got to do protein. And she's like, okay, trust me, how about we do this and let's see what happens.
You hired me for a reason.
Right. And so it has definitely helped, and she does that for each person, because she has some people who are athletes, and guess what? They're going to have totally different needs than somebody like me who is over 100 pounds overweight. She's going to, as a good coach should, she's going to adjust depending on the person, their needs, and their reactions. And again, most of the time, what we're doing, like when we record our tracking and we're recording in, she has a spreadsheet. When you do that, you're collecting data. So it's not something to be a negative against you. It's something of a more scientific way of looking and saying, okay, yeah, when you're doing high protein and moderate fat, look, you're gaining weight, which is what happened to me. You keep gaining weight. But look, now that and it's taken time, because again, I'm stubborn. Now that we've lowered the protein,
not my wife.
And I'm having a lot less than 100 grams of protein a day, y'all. I'm not eating like some people say, oh, you got to eat that much protein per weight. I'm not. But I'm eating lots of fat, 90% fat. And look, I'm having results again. So everybody's going to be different. So definitely come and listen to her next Friday. Ask your questions, any keto questions, even non-keto questions. Or if you're just like, why would I get a coach? Or well, why should I hire Samantha as my coach? Or what's the benefit? Or do I need a coach? Have those questions ready. Any questions you have. Or, what makes Samantha a better coach than, say, somebody else over here, that I can hire and they would give me, tell me, oh, this is what you do. Like, why should I go with Samantha? Those are all awesome questions. So have those ready. And I feel like I have ranted enough. So thank you for listening to that. Definitely leave us, a comment. What are your thoughts? This is just my thoughts. I could be completely wrong. Everybody I know is different. You do keto how you want to do keto. I know that's the popular term nowadays is you do you keto. Go ahead. This is just my thoughts. But I would say with the new year, since a lot of people like to reflect, I would recommend taking a week or two and don't be like, oh, I got to watch what I'm doing. Don't do it right away. Just say, you know what? I'm just going to eat. And this is how my coach does it. If you're maintenance, go ahead and eat. Put your plate up and everything, how you would eat. Take a picture of it. And then later that day or after you're done eating, then you put it in your tracker, and this is how you see, okay, this is what I'm actually eating. And then you could see from there, oh, you know what? I'm only getting 60% fat, so maybe that's my issue. Or, oh, you know what? I am eating a lot of keto treats. I didn't really think I was, but you know what? I have that Lily's bar every single day, and then I have this every day, and I have a shake every day, and I have a brick snack every day. And then you're like, okay, yeah, I am eating a lot of keto treats. So time to kind of bring that back down and treat it as a treat, right?
Right.
And I know we're guilty of that too. I mean, me. Especially over Christmas holiday, I was making those Lily basically Christmas bark a lot. And
speaking of, we need to make another one for today.
No. And so I'm not saying we're perfect. We're not perfect at all.
Speak for yourself. I am.
Oh, I know. Except for my husband. He's Mr. Perfect. We can all try to be more like Heath, right?
For sure.
But I'm not saying we're perfect, though. Don't feel like I'm trying to come off as an elitist. I'm just giving my opinion on what I think. And I feel like, if you're trying to reevaluate where things are going, this is a good start. And to kind of put those keto products in their place. And remember, they are still products. So just keep that in mind. It's still a product. What are you wanting to do with that? Do you have anything to add to my rant?
No, that's perfect.
Oh, well, that was perfect?
Yes.
All right. What else do you want to say?
We need to show them our food.
Okay. Show them what you ate this week.
For breakfast this week, I'm having my Swaggerty's sausage patties topped with some Reaper cheese and some hard-boiled eggs drizzled with this love Chamoy sauce. Saturday lunch, I'm just having some air fryer pork belly bites. For lunch this week, I'm having my meatballs and marinara sauce. For dinner this week, we made a giant batch of Instant Pot beef stew. And of course, I'm topping it with some MCT hot sauce. Doesn't that stuff look great? Oh, and look at those chunky mushrooms that are in there too. Y'all, this is so good. For breakfast this week, having Swaggerty's breakfast patties, topped with some pepper jack cheese, my hard-boiled eggs, topped with some of that Chamoy love sauce. Saturday lunch, we're at Good Company Mexican Cantina.
Yeah, that's next to the fish one. Ooh,
this is actually next door to the fish camp we were at the other week. And we started off with just some salsa and pork rinds.
Wow.
It's way good. And they served warm, too. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, can you put the mic closer and see if you can hear it popping? hear the pop, y'all? And then look. Ooh. Fresh out. You hear that pop?
This place is so good. And we're starting off with a bowl of guacamole. We've got some bacon, some chicharrones, and what is this over here?
That's queso fresca, the white. And then I think this is like roasted jalapeno and some onions.
Roasted garlic. That's what it was.
No, it's not garlic. We didn't get the roasted garlic out on. That's green. I think it's like roasted peppers.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And then, of course, our red beans.
So now is the main attraction. The whole reason why we came. We got a pound of beef fajitas and some jalapeno cheese sausage. And there's all the fajita fixins. And then on the side dish, we got a fresh salad.
Thank you so much.
And they brought us a new basket of pork rinds too. It's a feast. Sunday lunch, I'm finishing off the rest of that Instant Pot beef stew. Sunday night supper, I got some smoked pork loin done up with a rosemary maple glaze, half an avocado, and last bit of my Brussels sprouts with bacon. For Monday lunch, this is all the leftovers from that spicy sausage cauliflower soup. I'm going to eat some of this, and the rest will be for tomorrow. Monday night dinner, having some more of that awesome rosemary maple glazed smoked pork loin and some bacon Brussels sprouts. Tuesday lunch, I'm finishing off the rest of that cauliflower chowder. Tuesday night dinner, I'm having that rosemary maple glazed smoked pork loin along with some bacon Brussels sprouts. Wednesday lunch, I'm having pizza in a bowl. It's ground beef, ground pork, doctored up with some marinara, basil marinara from Victoria, and then topped with some mozzarella and some pepperoni. Wednesday night dinner, I'm having the rest of that smoked rosemary maple glazed pork loin along with some awesome Brussels sprouts and the last bit of the cheese stuffed mushrooms. Thursday lunch, I'm having some more of that pizza in a bowl. Thursday night dinner, I got some bacon wrapped chicken with some buttery goat cheese sauce on top and my favorite bacon and Brussels sprouts and a couple of mozzarella string cheese. Friday lunch, I'm having the leftover pizza in a bowl along with some pork rinds.
All right, folks, that was some dang good eats. And we just left Costco. We're headed home to drop everything off and check on the dogs. Then we're going to go to Saltgrass for lunch. But that'll be on next week's video.
Why are we going to Saltgrass?
Because somebody has a $25 gift certificate for her birthday, which is coming up. And we also have a $25 gift card from our rewards from. That's another reason why we love Landry's restaurants, because we love earning points.
Yeah,
and the food's good too.
Yeah, because we were looking. We have like an assortment of Landry's.
Yeah.
Gosh, do you think I can turn over?
I think so. We're fixing to find out.
Yeah, if that person would just pull forward they literally have a car length.
They still have room to pull up.
Oh my God.
Thanks, buddy.
But anyways, as we were saying, we have lots of different Landry's brand restaurants, whether you go downtown Houston or not. And I was looking at some of them because I'm like, that's basically $50.
Yeah.
But I got to thinking, I was like, okay, yeah, if I go, like, there's this one in the Woodlands that has a dress code, and which is just unheard of, really. And I was like, okay, I can definitely
tennis shoes.
I know. I get all dressed up, but then I was like, okay, what you're paying for, like, for example, a steak there starts at $40 for a 6-ounce filet mignon. But if I go, right, theirs are $50. But if we go to Saltgrass, I get a whole meal with the filet mignon, 6-ounce for, like, I think $29 or $31. And I'm like, is there really that much of a difference between the two? And it's mostly atmosphere, right?
And I'm really thinking, too, since they're a chain restaurant, they're using the same supplier for both facilities.
Yeah, anybody in the restaurant biz, let us know if we're off on that. I mean, maybe what happens is, because we've seen filet mignons at the store, maybe Saltgrass gets like the end pieces and someplace like Mastro's gets the center cut. I don't know. But is it worth it for $10 just for the steak? But with Saltgrass, I'm also going to get a salad and a side with it.
Because the other one, like you're saying, is a traditional steakhouse where everything is a la carte.
Right. Which is what we like, though, because then, like that one place that automatically comes with rolls and potatoes.
Right.
But yeah, that's our thinking. Let me know what y'all think.
And now Saltgrass, we generally get the Brussels, but of course she's omitting them recently, now. But they do have an option for hers to get
asparagus.
Yeah. And still get a salad, so.
Yeah, so why not, y'all?
And I'll bang for our buck.
Yeah, and I get the filet mignon again because, again, that's a smaller steak. And then I get the chimichurri sauce, which, again, is olive oil. And that'll up the fat. Plus, I'll ask for, like, a lot of fat on the side as well.
Mm-hmm. And I'll get my normal ribeye.
But you'll see that next week, all the details, right?
Yeah. There's a little preview of what we're going to tell you about it.
But yeah, last week we were at Home Depot.
Yes.
And then we went to Costco. And do you want to tell them why we had to go to Costco? Or
I had some security cameras we bought in 2018. This is why we love Costco, y'all. We bought these in 2018, downloaded the app. We actually bought 2 packages with them.
Yeah.
6 cameras total. And we had them all around the house. And we could never get them to work correctly. And for whatever reason, we kept putting it off. I finally got tired of it and pulled them all down and drove up here yesterday. And they told me, yeah, that's great. Well, yeah, we'll take it all back, but you're missing a couple of pieces from each packages. So we technically bought, we did. We bought 6 cameras total. So I had to go home and get 2 more cameras off the house. That for whatever reason, I walked right past them. Because the picture she sent me while I was out and I was telling her what happened, it actually looked like the side of our garage. She's like, no, that's the front door. I was like, I had to look at it again. And then when I got home, I walked out and I was like, oh, oops. Okay, there it is right there. So,
I mean, that was the point of the security cameras, so that they weren't easily visible.
Right? Incognito.
But
they even threw me off.
So this is what happened with the system. Is they worked really well at first. Like, it was perfect. It was one of those motion sensor, and then it would record.
It had lights on it.
Yeah, 3 of them had lights that would flash when it
activated.
Yeah, but they were batteries, so they had a battery. So then they weren't wired, and I didn't want wired because I don't know how to do all that wiring stuff. So I wanted a battery. But what happened is every time the battery needed to be recharged, we would bring it in, and then they either wouldn't charge correctly, like it would look like it was charging, but then it wasn't, or it would charge, but then once it was charged and I put it back in, the system wouldn't acknowledge that one that had to be charged. So then I would have to reboot the whole system and re-add everything back in. And with six cameras, which is 6 batteries, it just got so time consuming to do that all the freaking time. And I called the customer service several times, and they were like, oh yeah, there's no issue. And I'm like, but there is an issue. Why does this keep happening? They couldn't figure out why that would happen.
That's why we really like buying stuff like this from customers.
Yes, and so we just literally, at least in 21 we had the flood and everything happen, and things have just been too hectic. And in the meantime, I bought the ring for the front door, and really we just mainly need a camera for the front door, and then maybe one in the garage and the back door. So we really only need 3 devices. But the ring has been very useful and never had any problems with it.
Correct.
Now maybe if we had wired cameras, it might work better. I don't know. So I'm thinking in the future, if we get security cameras again for the other 2 locations, I'm thinking I'll go with ring. Y'all tell me what your experience is. This was an Arlo. But yeah, I was totally shocked that they took it back, gave us our full money back, which is amazing. And what we were able to do then with that is, you might have heard Heath has complained a lot about his computer. Like, it has a cracked screen, and he says it's slow all the time, and it does have sometimes when it has issues. So we found they were having computer discounts today, so we got him a new laptop.
But I've always heard too, though, that as soon as you buy a computer and bring it home, it's already out of date.
Right. So it's out of date, but it's at least more up to date than your old one
Right.
we got, about 5 years ago?
At least.
So,
I'm excited.
Yeah, and we still have money left on credit. That's how much those security things cost us. So that's really good.
We got the new computer and some groceries.
Right, and still have some money left over. So
for next week.
Yeah, so that's what we did.
Next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can't go back to Costco until next year. Does anybody else do that with their job? Like on the last work day of the year, do you tell people, hey, see y'all next year?
No, I do not enjoy dad jokes.
Oh, whatever. Oh, I'm gonna itch. I say those kind of things like, okay, y'all, I've had enough. I'll see you next year.
Right.
Or I like the one Shauna posted today about, well, I have enough money where I can not work until next year.
Right.
And that is 100% the truth. In fact, I probably don't. I need to keep working. But yes, that's what we did. I hope y'all enjoyed this rambles today and all of the wonderful food and his update. Sorry we didn't put one out last weekend.
There's just too much going on.
Yeah.
But I appreciate y'all's patience, and those of y'all who reached out and said that they missed it last week. Thank y'all. That really, really warms my heart.
It does.
I got something I dropped on my shirt. It's a little thing right there.
They actually had some good samples today.
They really did.
They had dry salami, which was good. And then they had the Archer's meat sticks.
I started to grab a bag. I was like, man.
Yeah, I know. They're good. And then they also had Zip Fizz.
And your coffee, but yeah.
No, the coffee.
You said good.
I thought the coffee was good, you know, because I've seen coffee and he had half and half out, and I'm like, ooh, yay, coffee. And then after I grab it, because I feel bad, you know, with germs and stuff, I don't want to put my hand on something if I'm not going to eat it. And when I grabbed it, and I was like, wait, it looks like there's already cream in that. He goes, oh yeah, we're pimping the Coffee Mate French vanilla. And I'm like, oh shit. So I had to just throw it away. I'm like, first of all, I never cared for Coffee Mate. And then second of all, I certainly don't want it now.
Right.
And so, yeah, I threw that away. Yeah, there was, of course, the usual CR blip available. There was even some kind of protein powder. And she's like, oh, you want a sample? And I'm like, yeah, let's see what this is in this. And I'm like, 20 carbs? I'm like, no, never mind.
And then the last thing I saw before we got to the checkout line, it said it was a plant-based protein powder. I was like,
yeah, that's what it was. Number one was like pea protein. I was like, oh, never mind. Because she's like, oh, you want one? Grab one. I said, I have to read ingredients first. And then I read it, and I was like, ooh. I was like, oh, never mind. I don't want a Starbucks.
Okay, go in now before anybody comes.
Oh, never mind.
Is it a long line?
No, I don't know if this one has the nitro. And that's okay. I don't need it.
You got coffee at home.
That's right. But yeah, so, where were we at?
You're telling him how wonderful I am.
Oh yeah, he is the most wonderful husband. He is just so handy. Like today, the plumber was like, okay, you need to cut off like another, 6 inches. And he, just got right up there on the ladder, which I know he's like, oh, I'm scared of ladders now because of his balance issues. But I feel like you did really well.
And then yesterday, too, when I pulled down that, the camera.
Yeah, the camera you had to get, because we had it up high, he had to get up on a ladder. And I thought you did really well. I know you were like really hesitant.
Yeah, but I just buckled down because I'm not going to let 3 screws hold me off. That's all that mount was 3 screws I had to undo. And I have a drill, but just the ladder would throw me off. And I was only on the 2nd rung. I just felt so silly. Just butch up, Nancy.
Well, I think what it is when you have fallen, and anybody else could comment, if you have ever fallen, you kind of are apprehensive and don't want to fall again because...
Especially on the concrete.
Right. And so, of course, I could see your hesitation, but like I always say, I know you're hesitant, but face your fear. Like, I'm definitely a person that's like, face your fear, whatever you're afraid of, just face it, and it's probably not going to be that bad. And if you face it, and you know what, you fell again, then we know for sure. But you didn't. And then you got on the ladder again today and cut out the rest of the sheetrock.
Yeah.
And see, I thought you did great.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I know, right? But see, that's how awesome he is. He does that, and then he refills my water. He starts making my coffee.
All right. Now we're just droning on and on.
All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this.
This is how rumors get started. We need to stop.
Oh yeah. Then everybody's gonna know that you're not some tough, burly giant. That you're the friendly giant.
Helpful Heath.
Helpful Heath. If you had watched to this point, go ahead and leave us a comment of
helpful.
Helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Helpful.
We gotta stay on track.
Definitely give us a thumbs up. If you're new here, hey, look, it just gets way better from here, obviously.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. This is the icing on the cake.
Hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on the bell notification. That way, every time we put out an amusing video like this, you'll be alerted. And
don't forget, every Friday night, 6:30 Central, we go live for the Friday night feast. We'll cook up an entree, maybe a couple little snacks. We'll even do an experiment like last week and see how it happens. And then we just hope y'all can tune in sometime. We'd love to have you over for dinner.
make sure you watch and stay tuned to see all of our wonderful channel members. And if you want to be a channel member, we have a once-a-month cook-along. I give you a recipe. Go ahead and hit the join button down below. That really helps our channel. So if you'd like to support us that way, we would greatly appreciate it. But stay tuned and see all of our wonderful channel members. Thank you all again. Bye.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.